On this Friday the 13th, we are live with another edition of the 12th Horseshoe podcast here on Surge Sports TV and the 12th Horseshoe podcast YouTube channel. Hello, everyone. Alongside my partner, Eli Weintraub, Jack Rizzo here with you guys today. And joining us once again, friend of the channel, Mr. Jayson Li, the co-host of the brand new Chasing Victory podcast. Make sure you go give them a follow over on YouTube. Jayson, great to be back with you. How are you doing today?
Doing well. Good Friday night. Can't wait for some Week 15. I can't believe I'm saying that. It's Week 15 already of the NFL season. We got some great games on tap, though.
How about you, Eli? How are you doing today on this Friday evening? I think you're muted, my friend.
I'm doing great. I kind of lost. Thank you. I'm doing great. I kind of lost my voice after the pep rally today, but overall doing pretty good though.
Did a great job with that, by the way. All right, guys. Well, let's get right into it. As Jayson said, I can't believe we're in Week 15 already. That blows my mind. Week 1 feels like 3 weeks ago. But let's get it started. So I will say real quick that the bye weeks are done. So the final 4 weeks of the season, all 32 teams will be playing each week. And let's start it off with the Thursday night football game that took place last night. Guys, Thursday night football is back to the way we all know it to be. The Rams defeated the 49ers in a thrilling game that ended with a score of 12-6, 6 field goals in total. The Rams ultimately edged out the 49ers with their 3 field goals in the fourth quarter. The Rams now have won 7 of their last 9 games after a 1-4 start. They are right there with Seattle in the NFC West standings. Meanwhile, the 49ers are likely finished after that loss and a sweep by the LA Rams. So I'll go with you first, Eli. What were your thoughts on this game?
Well, I didn't watch it, but clearly saw that that was an absolute boring game. Nothing but field goals. I'm actually happy that the 49ers are going to be out more than likely from the playoffs because we always see the 49ers every year. They're always that dominant team. To finally give somebody else in the NFC West an opportunity and to hopefully see a different team out there is going to be pretty exciting. I'm really
I think Eli's having some issues, guys. But we'll get while you're doing that, Eli, Jayson, why don't you give your thoughts on the game?
Yeah,
and then Eli will go back to you.
Yeah, I'll go right now. And this is the thing. I said on this show when I came on at the beginning of the season, the Niners were going to win the Super Bowl. I don't know where we stand now. I don't think there's any hope for San Fran. They're the land of the faithful, and there's no faithful. But as for the Rams, I'm going to say this. They're in a good spot. It's going to honestly come down to the final 2 games of this season with Arizona and Seattle. Seattle, that game in LA could potentially decide the division and potentially decide who gets in and who gets out. But here's the thing with the Rams. This cannot happen. Yes, the defense is improving. Yes, they finally hit their stride without the loss of Aaron Donald and how that was going to impact them. And now it's finally working out. But this Rams offense needs to click. Everyone needs to get involved. If they want to make go to the playoffs and make a run, because 12 points, 4 field goals is not going to cut it in not even a quarter in the playoffs.
How about you, Eli? Any final thoughts? Because I know your mic kind of
my mic had some trouble, so apologies about that. But overall, like I said, glad 49ers on it. Glad to see somebody new there. And as you mentioned, Jayson, it's going to come down to the end for Seattle to see what they do. A big test against the Packers on Sunday night this weekend. We'll get to the game in a little bit. But if they can beat the Packers, then Seattle will definitely be the front runners, I think, to win the division and potentially make a good far enough run in the playoffs, in my opinion. So we'll just have to see what happens Sunday night on NBC.
All right, well, let's get to the picks. Let's start off with the Sunday afternoon slate. No Saturday games this week. 1 p.m. on CBS, the Chiefs are taking on the Browns up in Cleveland. Kansas City favored by 6.5. The Chiefs are 12-1. They are the AFC West champions for what I believe is the 9th straight year. Yes, the 9th straight year that they've won the AFC West. You know, the Browns have been interesting the last few weeks. They've kept things close, but last week they did not play very well against the Pittsburgh Steelers. They look really overmatched. And honestly, the Chiefs, I mean, hey, the Chiefs love to keep these games close, but I think that defense is just going to be too much for Jameis Winston. I think the Chiefs get a win, but only by 5. I'm taking them 22-17, but I am taking them as my lock of the week just because we know the Chiefs are going to win a close game. They they've won over at least 10 straight one possession games. It blows my mind. So the Chiefs are going to get the win here, and because I'm confident in that, it's my lock of the week. So we'll go to you next, Jason. Who are you taking for this game?
I got an upset pick of the week in my back pocket, and I'm going to pull it out. And here is why. This team that we're looking at in the Kansas City Chiefs, we're 12-1. You got the division locked up, and I feel like they're just going to play flat this game. I feel like that's with every team that when they clinch a division, they play flat. Look at the Bills last week. They completely they shouldn't have only lost by 2 points, let's be honest here. But I feel like the Browns, this is a trap game for Kansas City. I feel like with all this pressure built up, the Browns haven't beaten the Chiefs since I think 2012. We can maybe fact check that, but I think it's been 12 years since the Browns have actually beaten the Chiefs. And I feel like if the offense can click, the defense, like guys like Myles Garrett, Denzel Ward, they step up, and a little prayer from Jameis Winston in the pregame, I feel like it can work, but it's only going to be by 2. I say 27-25 Cleveland as an upset of the week.
You are right, Jason. The last time the Browns beat the Chiefs was 2012. But we have to keep in mind that was the bad Kansas City Chiefs team. They actually had the worst record in the league in 2012. Had the first overall pick in the next draft. It took Eric Fisher. Maybe the most random number 1 overall pick in NFL history. But how about we'll go to you, Eli. Who have you got in this one?
Well, it's going to be the Kansas City Chiefs, my lock of the week, with the final score of 19-17. The Chiefs love to win close games, so I think we're going to see maybe another same score as last week. When you have Patrick Mahomes as the quarterback and Andy Reid as the head coach, they're going to win football games no matter what. They're going to keep it close no matter what, and the refs are always going to be on their side like nationwide. And that is the bottom line here. And I cannot pick against Kansas City and Patrick Mahomes. That's the bottom line.
Next up, let's go over to Fox. 1 p.m. The Bengals taking on the Titans. Man, they had a huge win on the road against Houston 2 weeks ago, and then they followed that up with back-to-back horrendous performances. There's just not much going right for over there in Tennessee. But to be fair, there's not much going right in Cincinnati either. It's crazy. The Bengals have the NFL's leading passer, the NFL's leading receiver, and the NFL leader in sacks, and yet they are sitting at 5-8 and very unlikely to make the playoffs. Says something about Zach Taylor, doesn't it? Well, either way, though, I just can't trust Will Levis to get a win. So I'm going to take Joe Burrow and the Bengals to win 35-28. Every time the Bengals play, I always pick a super high-scoring game because we know their offense is going to put up a ton of points. We also know their defense is going to give up a ton of points. So Bengals win 35-28. How about you, Jason?
I'm going to go Bengals by 2 touchdowns, 28-14. Look, there's a lot to say about the Bengals. Like, I think it's a long shot to make a playoff push here. But when you have a team with guys like Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase that are putting up ridiculous numbers every week, and you still find a way to lose. Now sometimes you can hit your stride. You still put up high-scoring games. You look at the game against Dallas. It was close at one point, and then you ran away with it at the end. But I feel like the Bengals, if they're going to try to win out and potentially cause some trouble for other teams trying to make a playoff push, they have to win convincingly here. And I think the duo of Jamar Chase and Joe Burrow is going to shine, and it's a simple win.
Both these teams have been struggling deeply. However, the Bengals did get a win last week. Who do I pick here? It's tough, but I'm going to go with the Bengals here. And I think with this Bengals team, they won last week. The Titan team has not been that great, so I'm going to have to go with the Bengals 28-16. I think if the Bengals lost last week, I would have been a little bit, maybe change my pick around here, but because they won pretty big against Dallas, I'm going to have to pick them 28-16 to do very good in Tennessee.
Next up, Cowboys at Panthers, 1 p.m. on Fox. The Panthers, crazy enough, were actually the favorites in this game. When was the last time they were favorites? I don't know. They're favored by 1, so not a huge spread, but hey, they're favored. That's a pretty big milestone for them, but it really seems like that benching Bryce Young was one of the greatest decisions the Carolina Panthers have ever made. It probably saved David Tepper's reputation as the owner, and it probably made Dave Canales look like an absolute genius and a perfect hire by the Carolina Panthers in the offseason. And, the Panthers have struggled a lot. They've lost 4 in a row after that win over the Giants over in Germany, but I think they get back on track this week. I think The Cowboys just have too many injuries, and I think Mike McCarthy's on his way out after the season. So I don't really know how much they're going to try the final few weeks. So give me the Carolina Panthers to win here 18-15. I think Bryce Young has another solid game, and that Carolina defense, low-key, been playing well the last few weeks. So give me the Panthers here at home. We'll go to you, Eli. Who you got in this one?
Well, I'm going to go with the Panthers as well, 22-18. It's not my upset pick of the week. The reason why I'm taking the Panthers is because Dallas lost last week, and they've been struggling. They don't have a proper quarterback in play here. And I feel like this Panthers team has been trying super hard every single week to try to win football games, and they're cutting it close. And I feel like the hard work is about to pay off with the win this weekend in Dallas.
How about you, Jason? Who you got in this one?
Absolutely. You couldn't have said it better. We're at that point where the Panthers lose last 4 games. They're losing by a touchdown or less. Come on. They deserve a win. They need a win. Please, give them this. Like you said, benching Bryce Young was the smartest idea ever, and it's going to show. Dallas, I'm sorry, they're terrible. Cooper Rush is garbage. Rico Dowdle decided to show up finally after, I don't know where he was for the first 12 weeks of the season. There is no leadership. There is no organization. They don't even deserve a good pick. You're going to waste it anyway on some random guy that's going to come in and potentially make you a little better. But your coaching staff is terrible. There's no leader on the defense. Everyone is MIA or hurt. There's no way. And I think the Panthers, you know what? They're going to come out. They're going to come out swinging every single drive. I have them winning by 10. Screw the point spread. They're going to win big, 30-20.
I like it. I like everything you said about the Panthers. And keep in mind, the Panthers' final 4 games versus Dallas this week. Then next week, they're at home against Arizona. Then a tough road game against Tampa Bay. But then the final week, they play the Falcons. So I can see three wins potentially here for Carolina in the last 4 weeks. I mean, before the season, I had the Panthers winning 6 games. I really thought that Dave Canales would be the perfect hire as head coach. And it definitely seems like he has been. I thought the defense, though, would be better than they have played. But the last few weeks, though, they've started to play better. If Xavier Legette didn't drop the touchdown last week, they probably would have shocked the Eagles. But unfortunately, it didn't go that way. But hey, the Panthers have shown they can compete with anybody. They competed with the Chiefs and the Eagles and all these other great teams. So we'll just have to see how the season plays out. Bucks, too. Next up. If you're in the New York area and you are not a Jets fan, cover your ears for this next one because this is the game we're going to have on Fox this week. Jets versus Jaguars, 3-10 versus 3-10, 1 p.m. on Fox. You know what? Screw the Jets. Give me the Jaguars here, 17-14. I don't care how many injuries the Jaguars have. I am just not taking the Jets right now. I don't care if Trevor Lawrence is on IR. I'm taking the Jaguars here. I believe in Mac Jones. Give me the Jaguars to win down in Maxonville, 17-14. Here over the Jets. Jets are 3.5-point favorites, by the way. Jason, we'll go to you.
This game is just terrible. There is nothing positive I can say on either team right now. I'm just gonna take the Jets. I feel like between the two, looking at the depth charts, they're the better team on paper, but that doesn't say anything. I say there's no touchdowns in this game. I say I'll take the Jets 15-9.
Well, I'm going to take the Jets in the victory here, 20-14. The reason why I'm taking the Jets here is because Jacksonville does not have a proper quarterback with Trevor Lawrence on that injury. Jacksonville's not been playing great. And the past couple games, the Jets have been playing decent football, except they lost. That's the problem. They cut these games close. They weren't blowout wins. And that's, to me, a sign that this Jets team is actually going to try to win this game this weekend. So I'm going to see the Jets with the victory here. And don't be surprised, every single Jet fan that you may or may not know decides to go, oh, we're the best team ever. We just won the football game and stuff. They will be going crazy if they do win this game. And that's the reason why I'm picking the Jets.
Well, I have to disagree with you there, Eli, because I think if the Jets win this game, their fans are going to be so mad that they're going to ruin their draft positioning.
But again,
to be honest,
it's really the quarterback that's the issue here. I mean, not so much everybody else. So I don't know how much will that draft pick even help to begin with, but moving along.
We've got the next game on the list is the Dolphins taking on the Texans.
Great game.
In Houston, 1 p.m. on CBS. I don't really know if it's that great of a game. I think both of these teams are pretty fraudulent, honestly. I actually struggled with who I was going to pick in this game. The Dolphins are so wishy-washy, like you say, Eli. And the Texans have been, honestly, even though they're 8-5, they've honestly been one of the more disappointing teams in the NFL this season, in my opinion. I had the Texans winning the Super Bowl before the season started, and it certainly has not gone that way for them.
No, it has not.
I really struggled to pick a winner in this game, but because the Texans are home, because I just don't trust the Dolphins. I don't really trust Texans either, but at home, I'm going to trust them. So give me the Houston Texans to win 25-23. Eli, we'll go with you next.
Okay, well, I'm going to go here with the Texans with an Eli special, 26-23. I cannot trust the Dolphins. However, I feel like they're going to keep it close, and I think the Texans will get the victory here, 26-23. Jason?
I'm going to go Houston. Like you said, they're home. I'm going to go Houston 28-21. I feel like the Dolphins defense to me is very shaky at times. They're banged up. They're missing some guys that should have, they got hurt, but that could have played. I feel like the Texans, you know what? In order to convince me that they are a contender in the playoffs, because who knows? Most likely you're going to win this division. Most likely you're going to eke out and come away with the division. You're going to get that home playoff game, but you got to start winning games convincingly. Like, these close games are kind of questionable to me, but I feel like against the Dolphins, they're a little weaker right now. I'm going to take the Texans by a touchdown.
All right. Sounds good. So we all agree with the Texans on that one. Next up, we have the Commanders taking on the Saints, 1 p.m. on Fox down in New Orleans. No Derek Carr in this one. Will be Jake Hayner starting for the Saints. Washington, predictably a big favorite, 7.5. Yeah, that quarterback situation not looking good for the Saints right now. I've got the Commanders winning here, 30-18. I think it's a pretty comfortable win. The Commanders look really good against the Titans. That was a big bounce back win for them. And even though Cliff Kingsbury always has these big collapses at the end of the season, I think the Commanders get the win here. And the Commanders are also coming off their bye week, so they've had an extra week to prepare for this. So give me the Washington Commanders here on the road. How about you, Jason?
Confidently, I just do not believe in the new quarterback situation. Jake Hayner is going to have a rough outing that afternoon. And I'm just going to take the Commanders convincingly 35-10. I just do not see the Saints getting any momentum. Maybe they'll get a garbage time touchdown. That's where the touchdown comes in. But I feel like the offense right now, this is where it should be heating up for the Commanders. If they want to get maybe a 6, maybe even a 5 seed, or just sneak in at the 7, who knows? Because I think Philly's going to run away with this division. And I think if the Commanders really want to cement themselves as a contender in the postseason, they have to win these games. They have to, regardless if it's the allegations that, like, oh, they can only beat bad teams. Well, that's the way the schedule fell. And whether you like it or not, the Commanders are going to win those against those teams. So Commanders convincingly, I think Jaden Daniels has a really good game on Sunday.
Well, Eli, before you go, I'm sorry, I just want to mention this real quick. I find it interesting that you said that, Jason, about the Eagles, because the Eagles can clinch the NFC East as early as this weekend if they win against the Steelers and the Commanders lose against the Saints. They both have to happen. I don't know if the Commanders are going to lose, but it is a possibility, though. So the Eagles can clinch as early as this week. Eli, go ahead with your pick. I'm sorry.
Yeah, it is pretty crazy, but like I said, I feel like this Commanders team is a wild card playoff team. I said it from the start, and I think they're going to get a big win here this weekend. Give me the Washington Commanders here, 28-12, and that is my survivor pick of the week.
Good pick, Eli. You were definitely right about the Commanders for the season. We should have never doubted you.
And the Jets.
What? Yes, and the Jets. Although I didn't have the Jets in the playoffs either, and I was the only one who had the Bills winning the AFC East. So, just had to point
whatever,
that
Jack.
out.
Move along.
Okay. Next up. Oh God, do we even have to talk about this game?
What a game!
The Ravens taking on the Giants at MetLife Stadium, 1 p.m. on CBS. So for those of you in the tri-state area, congratulations, because you have two options. You either have the Ravens or the Giants on CBS, or you have the Jets versus the Jaguars on Fox. Have fun, everyone.
You got college basketball.
Sure, yeah. Honestly, that's probably a better option.
NBA basketball with something else is on.
Or just watch Red Zone with Scott Hansen. It's worth the money. It definitely is. Either way, the Ravens are, get ready for this, a 16-point favorite this week over the Giants. I'm confident saying that that's the biggest spread all season. And I think the Ravens win by about double that spread. I've got the Ravens 38-10, and that is my survivor pick of the week. Eli, how about you?
I'm going to go here with the Ravens 30-9. I think it should be a big win for the Ravens.
And how about you, Jason?
I'm gonna take the Ravens 35-3. I just do not see any sign of light in New York with the Giants. It's just I don't know what's wrong with them. Like Malik Neighbors, he's over there complaining after every game, like, oh, we're a bad team and I don't get the ball. Well, so what? You're on a bad team and you can't do anything about it. And the Ravens, that 1-2 punch of Lamar and Derrick Henry is going to show on Sunday, and it's going to be a crazy blowout, and it absolutely should be.
Absolutely. Yeah. That 35-3, that's interesting because that score always comes up in my head because that was the score that the Houston Oilers were leading against the Buffalo Bills in the 1993 wildcard game, which was the greatest comeback in NFL history until the Vikings decided to beat it 2 years ago and help the Colts get Anthony Richardson. So thank you, Minnesota, for that. I'm always grateful for you. Let's move on to the 4 o'clock game. Guys, we have a packed 4 o'clock window this week. There are 5 games, and I would consider 4 of them to be pretty good games. We'll start off with game of the week. Maybe it probably will be game of the year. I'm very confident saying that. It's the Bills.
I don't know.
Oh, stop it, Eli.
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's game of the year. We'll see about that.
Game of the year, absolutely.
Game of the day.
Eli, don't make me do don't make me do what I want to do.
Okay, the reason why. Can I get my reasoning before you get rid of me?
Go ahead.
Okay. Why I'm saying this might not be the game of the year, I don't think that it's going to show. I think we're giving this game too much hype, and I don't think we're going to get a lot of scoring. I know I know it's a great game. I think it's a phenomenal game. I just have that weird feeling that this might be one of those odd ones. I could tell you that. Like, I don't know. Like, although we're going to pick a high score here, I just have a good feeling that we're not going to see the scores in the game when we want to see.
Now listen, Eli. I understand that the Bills and the Lions both blew out the Seahawks this year, but that is not a reason to say that this is not going to be a good game.
Okay, that was not my reason, Jack. So shame on you.
I had to mention it.
Shame on you.
Just had to
Next,
mention it.
let's move along. Jason, pick.
This game, you can worry about a tight game, a low-scoring game all you want. This game is going to be an electric game. I'm going to go high. I'm going to go as high as I've gone this season. I'm going to go 49.
Oh.
Stop. 49-45. I'm going to go Detroit. I'm going to take the home team. I just feel like that offense is stronger than the Buffalo Bills offense. Don't get me wrong. Josh Allen's great, but I feel like Ben Johnson and Jared Goff, that connection, and of course the 1-2 punch, the best running back duo in the NFL, and Jahmyr Gibbs and David Montgomery. It's going to go back and forth. It's going to go back and forth, touchdown for touchdown, but I feel like the Lions get the edge and they run away with it at the end.
I agree. You know, I was worried, Jason. Oh, I'm sorry. Did you want to say something, Eli, or?
I was going to make my pick, but go for it.
Oh, you can make your pick. Go ahead.
No, go for it.
No, make your pick. Go ahead. You can make your pick.
Gonna go with the Lions, 24-17. That's gonna be my pick. I think it's gonna be not as. I had a high score originally, but there's that. I got that feeling, Jack, that there's something that we're not gonna get the game that we want to see.
You always have these feelings, Eli. It's like every single week we got one. Now, sometimes you're right, sometimes you're not. So maybe we'll be right in this case. We'll just have to see. Wow, Jason, you really made me nervous. I thought you were going to pick the exact same score that I.
By the way, Lions, 24-17.
Because, Jason, we are only 1 point off on our score predictions because I have the Lions winning 48-45. So we were extremely close at making picks, but I just think it's going to be back and forth. I mean, we saw how the way both the Bills and the Lions both the Bills and the Lions played in high-scoring affairs last week. The Lions won, 34-31, and the Bills lost 44-42. So I think both of these teams are going to be ready to play. I think Josh Allen and Jared Goff, they might honestly combine for over 1,000 passing yards in this game. I don't even think that's a crazy thing to say. I think there's just going to be a ton of offense in this game, and I think the Lions ultimately get the win thanks to a Jake Bates field goal at the end of the game. You can always count on Jake Bates to give your team the win. But I will say, though, even though I'm giving the Lions 48 points in this, I still think that after the season, I think both Lions coaches will get assistants will get hired as head coaches. I still think that Aaron Glenn will be the better head coach in the NFL than Ben Johnson will be. Just my opinion, but that's what I'm going with.
Yeah, I agree. Eli, I have a question. So you said 24-17, right?
Mm-hmm.
You really think the Lions defense is allowing only 17 points? That banged up defense is only allowing 17 points.
The Lions have 13 defensive players on injured reserve right now.
What's your reasoning? Why? Why is it a low scoring game?
I just there's again, I had this weird feeling. That's all I could say.
Okay, fair.
All right,
I
fair
mean, they
enough.
just sparked. I had a high scoring game originally. I had 39-32 originally. Just changed the score. I had a feeling and I had a calling coming to me that says, although I'm picking the Lions, I still had them to win. I don't know. I think we're seeing an overhype here.
All right, well, let's move on to the next game. This is a pretty big playoff implications here in the AFC. The Colts coming off, both these teams actually coming off their bye week. The Colts taking on the Broncos in Denver, 4:25 on CBS. Broncos favored by 4.5. Listen, I love the way the Colts have been playing the last 2 weeks. Love the way that Anthony Richardson came back from the bench. And now, listen, I am a diehard Colts fan, but I am not a stupid Colts fan because I'm taking the Broncos by 17 points here. The Broncos win 30-13. They just have way more talent on both sides of the
Must be
ball.
happy.
They're a much better coach team. And I think Bo Nix is, even though Bo Nix is a rookie and Anthony Richardson's not, I think Bo Nix is miles ahead in terms of his football IQ than Anthony Richardson is. Now, part of that could be because Bo Nix started about, 200 games in college or whatever, how many ever it was. I mean, Bo Nix is 2 years older than Anthony Richardson is, which is crazy enough. But the Broncos win easily here, especially at home. And with the fact that Sean Payton just owns the Colts franchise, yeah, no doubt here. Broncos win 30-13, 17-point win. We'll go to you, Eli. Who have you got here?
Well, I'm going to go here with the Broncos. 28-24 could be close. Colts like to keep these games close. However, I think the Broncos are going to be the better team here and get the win.
All right, Jason, how about you?
I'm going to go Denver as well. We'll do the sweep with the Broncos. I'm going to go 28-20. I feel like the Colts, they fight. They're a fighting team every week. You rarely see them get absolutely destroyed. They fight for 4 quarters, and I feel like that they are. But I just think Denver is the better team. Like you both said, Denver is the better team. If you ask me right now who makes the playoffs between these two right now, I'm going to say Denver. But I feel like it's just the dynamic between Sean Payton and a quarterback. It somehow works. It didn't work out with Russell Wilson somehow, but he found a young guy named Bo Nix, and that he's going to be your quarterback for a long time. And the Broncos are somehow surprising everyone with the way they're playing, and they look great.
All right, next up, we have the Patriots at the Cardinals, 4:25 on CBS. Arizona 6.5-point favorites. To be honest, I was actually really considering picking the Patriots in this game, but I'm taking the Cardinals 24-14. Although I am going to root for the Patriots in this one because I actually like the Patriots. I hate the Cardinals, so give me the Cardinals to win, but I'm going to be rooting for the Patriots. How about you, Jason?
I'm going to go Arizona. I feel like the Patriots, I just do not see enough from them. Like, sure, Drake May is looking like he's got some bright spots to him, but they're just weak all around. Gerard Mayo, I don't know if he has a job next year, but I feel like the Arizona Cardinals, the young team, it has their moments, and I feel like the good outweighs the bad with Arizona this season. And I'm going to take them 26-20. Yeah, I feel like it's going to be a lot closer than people think, but I feel like Arizona is just a better team, and they might even get a lead. I'm going to say Arizona's up big, and then the Patriots slowly crawl back their way back, but I think Arizona clinches this one.
Yeah, I feel like Arizona's going to get the victory here, 26-17. I don't see the Patriots giving a fight at all, but I do see Arizona coming back from a loss and getting a victory here.
All right, let's move over to Fox. By the way, doubleheader for CBS and Fox this week. One of 2 doubleheaders. They'll have one in Week 18 as well. Battle of Pennsylvania here. Battle of the Keystone State. The Steelers taking on the Eagles.
What a great
East
game.
versus West, 4:25 on Fox. Before the season, when I saw this in a Week 15 time, so I was like, I don't really know. But, wow, the NFL apparently knew something because we've got a 10-3 team versus an 11-2 team. Now, let's have some trivia real quick before I make my pick. Guys, what was the last season the Pittsburgh Steelers had a losing season?
2004.
Well, Mike Tomlin was not the head coach of the team.
Close, Jason. Yes, you're correct, Eli. Mike Tomlin was not the head coach of the team. You're close. It's 2003. Super close. The Steelers actually went 15-1 in 2004. That was Big Ben's rookie season. They won 15-1 that season. So that was crazy. I mean, rookie season going 15-1 is crazy. But the point is this: Mike Tomlin love Mike Tomlin. You guys all know how much I love Mike Tomlin. And you know how much I love the Steelers team. I don't care that George Pickens isn't going to play. The Steelers were fine without him last week. They actually played better without him for some reason. But the Steelers have arguably the best defense in the NFL right now. TJ Watt alone is a game changer on that side of the ball. And Russell Wilson with his experience and with the Steelers' good run game, I think the Eagles are due for a loss soon. They have won 9 in a row since their bye week. So give me the Pittsburgh Steelers here on the road to win 23-21. Expect the Steelers faithful to show out in Philadelphia. Expect to see a lot of terrible talents there. And even in the hostile Eagles environment, I'm taking the Steelers here. I feel like the Steelers play better on the road anyway. So give me the Pittsburgh Steelers to win here by 2 points. How about you, Eli?
Sorry, I'm muted. I'm going to go here with the Philadelphia Eagles. Fly, Eagles, fly. Final score 24-21. Listen, I like Pittsburgh the way they've been playing right now, but now they're going to face their first real challenge. And I feel like Philadelphia is going to come out here. They're home, and they're going to get a strong victory here. Give me Philadelphia.
Jack, I'm going to agree with you here. I just love Pittsburgh here. I love being wrong. I said on the show at the beginning of the season they were going to have a losing year, and it was going to be a tough. It was going to be a learning curve. But no, here we are. Pittsburgh looks great, regardless of George Pickens is out. Russell Wilson has turned this ship around. And here's the thing: September 8th, he wasn't even supposed to turn the ship around. Justin Fields was QB1. And now he's gone. He went 3-2? And now Russell Wilson's here. The offense looks great. The defense looks unstoppable. And here's the key to victory for Pittsburgh. You need to stop Saquon Barkley. And because here's why: the dynamic between Jalen Hurts and the passing game is not there. Jalen Hurts and A.J. Brown are not on the same page. Jalen Hurts throwing is not the same that we've seen before. And I just think the Pittsburgh Steelers, if they just stop the run, that's 90% of the battle right there, and I feel like they can. I'm going to take the Steelers 35-30.
I totally agree with you on that one. I'm so happy you picked the Steelers. I just really do love the Steelers team. Next up, another game I'm looking forward to. The Bucks taking on the Chargers, 4:25 on Fox. This is a really good game, guys. The Chargers are favored by 2.5 here, and I think the smart pick would be to pick the Chargers, but you know what, though? I just really love the way Baker and the Bucks play. They always save their best for the end of the season. And I am really excited for this Bucks team. I think Baker's having a great season. Mike Evans doing what he does best. The run game is finally producing. That's something they haven't really had in previous seasons. And here's the thing. Justin Herbert is not 100%. He's dealing with that ankle injury. And we saw earlier in the season when he had the ankle sprain that the Chargers lost those 2 games against the Steelers and the Chiefs. I think Justin Herbert's injury played a huge part in that. So that's why I'm taking the Bucks here to win 28-26 here on the road. How about you, Jason?
I 100% agree. I was thinking I was going to be the only one on this one. But here's why, and there's the game changer. His name is Bucky Irving. Who would have thought we said that name as a potential game changer in the NFL this year? Bucky Irving's looked great. Baker Mayfield is looking elite. He's had his flaws, but so is every quarterback. And I feel like the Bucks, they're just, in order for me to say the Bucks are going to win the division and potentially make a run in the playoffs, they have to win out. And it starts here. This is arguably your toughest test yet against the Chargers. After Tampa, you're looking at Dallas, Carolina, and New Orleans. Like, these are 3 not easy games, but very winnable games at the end. So this is your toughest test. This is where you're going to prove that you can hang with the rest of them in the NFC. Like, don't get me wrong, the Chargers are great. They've had their shining moments, but like I said, Justin Herbert, he's not 100%. And at the beginning of the season, I said Justin Herbert was going to struggle throwing the ball because he doesn't have that many well-known pass catchers. Like, and it's proven. Like, Will Dissly's arguably your best pass catcher right now, or Ladd McConkey. You can make an argument for either or. But I feel like the Bucks are stronger right now. They've had the better year, in my opinion. I'm going to take Tampa Bay. 24-21.
I'm going to go here with the Chargers here. I'm going to go with 26-20. They came off of, I think the Chargers are going to get the victory here. Yes, I do agree with your points. The Buccaneers could definitely be in it to win it here. But I'm going to go with the Chargers. I feel like they're going to get the victory here done.
Well, back to your point, Chase, about Bucky Irving. What a year it has been for the Oregon Ducks. Undefeated in the college football season. You got Bo Nix balling out with the Broncos, and you've got Bucky Irving balling out with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. So it's certainly been a great year for the Oregon Ducks. Well, next up, let's go to Sunday Night Football. This is going to be a great game. The Packers taking on the Seahawks, 8:20 on NBC, up at Lumen Field in Seattle. Guys, how can I pick against Seattle in December in primetime at Lumen Field? Nobody beats Seattle in primetime in December. It's hard to beat Seattle at Lumen, period. But in December, absolutely not going to pick against them. Seattle wins. What was the score? 21-17. I've been disrespectful to Seattle the last few weeks. Not going to make the same mistake this week. Seahawks win at home over the Packers. How about you, Eli?
It's got to be the Seattle Seahawks with the victory here. Give me the Eli special 26-23. I feel like it's going to be a close game here, and that's going to be my upset pick of the week. You know they're going to get it done, and they're going to get a victory here. That's Finley in the background. And, yeah, I'm going to go with the Seattle Seahawks. They have to win it. I mean, it's December, prime time in Seattle.
You're right. They do have to win, and they're going to win. Eli, I don't know how we have the same score for this one. I said 26-23 as well, and I think it's going to be close, and it's just that atmosphere. Seattle in the cold Sunday night, it is going to be loud, especially for a young team and a young quarterback with the Green Bay Packers. Don't get me wrong, they're great. There's no doubt in my mind they easily make the playoffs, but I just got to go with Seattle. They look like the more complete team right now, and I feel like the Packers are too young right now. Like, I feel like I need to see maybe one more year, maybe even 2 years. This team needs to be together. This same team right now on the Packers has to stick together. No one can go anywhere else, and no one can come in. That's the thing with the Packers. But I feel like Seattle, they've had some great moments, and I feel like if you want to let it come down to Week 18 against the Rams, you need to win these games, especially against a team like the Packers.
Man, that Seattle Rams game is looking like something special, and it's crazy with how well Seattle's been playing the last month or so. If they lose this game, they're in second place because the Rams beat them.
Correct.
It just shows how the Rams
how
are kind of like
tight that
stuck
division
up on
is.
the division. What do you say? Yeah, how tight the division is. The 49ers are out and the Cardinals are out because they stink. So it's going to be very close. But I feel like Seattle has to win this week, and I think they will win. I'm glad we all agree on that. All right, let's go over to Monday Night Football now. For the fourth time this season, I can't believe I'm saying that. The fourth time this season, we have a doubleheader on Monday night. And, oh my goodness, pray for us on this Monday night. We've got two pretty horrendous games.
Hockey night.
Yeah, exactly. We have the Bears at the Vikings to kick it off. Monday Night Football, 8 p.m. on ABC. Minnesota favored by 6.5. Yeah, I've got the Vikings here. I think it's actually going to be close because the Bears, these NFC North games, you can never really figure out what's going to happen. So Vikings will win 24-23. It'll be close, but I'm not picking against the Vikings. Maybe the biggest surprise in the NFL this season.
I feel like this game's going to be very close, and for those reasons, I'm going to take the Vikings 24-20. I cannot trust the Bears after last week. I know the Vikings are going to get the victory here. I just cannot trust that it's going to be a high-scoring game for the Vikings. I have a good feeling it's going to be close for some reason.
I don't. I just cannot see the Bears coming away or not even a close game. I'm going to take the Vikings 30-12. I just do not see this Bears team gelling for the rest of the season, especially after, look at this. Detroit, Seattle, Green Bay is your last 3 games after Minnesota. Wow.
They got to be winnable game.
Get a victory there. But I just feel like the Vikings team, they've shocked the world. They've shocked everybody. They shocked me. I said they were winning 6 games this year. And sure, they've had some moments of questionable. They've very questionable moments, like the game against Jacksonville. You can argue that one, but I feel like the Vikings are the more complete team. Who knows? The Detroit's only a game ahead of them. All it takes in the NFL, especially now, is one slip up, and boom, the Vikings are going to win this division. But I feel like the Vikings confidently win by more than 2 possessions.
Well, Jason, it is funny that you said that who the Bears' final 3 opponents were, because you want to know something funny? The Vikings have the exact same last 3 opponents as the Bears do: Seahawks, Packers, and Lions. How crazy is that?
Wow.
I think that's a pretty interesting coincidence. So Get ready for this next one, guys. I hope you're going to enjoy it. 8:15 or 8:30 on ESPN. Man, God bless Chris Fowler for having to do this game. We have the Falcons and we have the Raiders. Whoever decided that, oh my goodness, I don't know who decided that would be a good idea. I'm not even going to spend any time talking about this game. I'm just going to take the Falcons 10-6. But if I get it wrong, I don't really even care because this game is so stupid. So give me the Falcons 10-6. That's really all I've got to say. How about you, Eli?
Mike.
And for the fourth time, he's muted.
I'm sorry. I don't know why you keep doing this. It's the Raiders. Come on. You ain't going to win the game. Give me the Falcons 15-12. Low scoring game.
I'm gonna take the Falcons as well. I feel like it's gonna be a little higher. I'm gonna go 20. I'm gonna go 20-16. It's gonna be a very boring game for majority, but I just feel like the lone shining stars on Las Vegas are what, Max Crosby and Brock Bowers. That's about it. And the Falcons, I feel like they're in a tough spot with a lot of people right now. They're one team 1 week that looks great, and then they look absolutely fraudulent. Kirk Cousins has a game where he throws like 300 yards and 2 touchdowns, and then he'll have the next game he'll throw 4 picks and like less than 150 yards. Who knows what Falcons team we're going to get? I think we're going to get the better team that we've seen at some points in the season. And in order to win this division and compete with Tampa Bay, you got to win these games, especially the team against the Raiders.
All right, well, that is going to do it for our Week 15 picks on the 12th Horseshoe podcast. Shout out to Jayson for joining us once again. Make sure you go check him out on the new YouTube channel, Chasing Victory. Go give them a follow over there. Make sure you join Eli tomorrow morning for Sports with Mono and Mono. I hope you guys all watch the Army-Navy game tomorrow. It's such a cool tradition. I enjoy that every single year. I hope you guys all watch that. Join Eli and I for our Week 15 recap next Wednesday because Tuesday we have our first St. Mary's game at home, which we'll be working at. So join us next Wednesday, not next Tuesday. Thank you so much, everyone, for watching. Jack Rizzo, Elijah Weintraub, Jayson Li signing
Go
off. Good night,
Seahawks.
everyone.
Go Devils. Bye-bye.